They call it the future. A city where dreams are built in steel and glass, where efficiency is an art form, and where the skyline never stops reaching higher. But beneath the polished surface, beneath the endless rows of air-conditioned malls and Michelin-starred hawker stalls, lies a truth most people never calculate until it's too late. This is the real cost of living in Singapore. And I promise you, it's not what you think. Meet Maya, 28 years old, marketing manager from Manila, armed with an offer letter and $8,000 in savings. She'd done her research, watched the YouTube videos, read the expat blogs, calculated the numbers. $5 meals, efficient public transport, no need for a car. She thought she'd cracked the code. But 3 months in, her bank account told a different story. The average monthly cost for a single professional in Singapore ranges from $2,500 to $4,500 SGD, and that's before you factor in the life you actually want to live. What Maya didn't account for was the invisible expenses that drain you slowly, like humidity seeping through your clothes. The little cuts that add up to hemorrhages. The compromises that become lifestyle. And it all starts with the one thing you can't escape. Housing. The silent wealth drainer. Back in the 1960s, when Singapore was still finding its identity, the government built HDB flats to house a growing nation. Affordable. Functional. A promise of stability. Fast forward to 2025, and that promise has evolved into something else entirely. A 3-room resale flat in a decent neighborhood now averages $400,000 to $500,000 SGD. And if you're renting, studio apartments in non-central areas start at $1,800 to $2,200 per month. Central districts. Think $3,000 and climbing. Maya remembers her first apartment viewing. A shoebox-sized room in an older building. 280 square feet. One window. $2,100 a month. She stood in the center of the space, arms outstretched, fingertips nearly touching both walls. Is this really what affordable looks like? But here's the thing, many expats find a workaround. They share. Split a $4,000 condo into manageable chunks. Turn isolation into community. Suddenly, luxury isn't about square footage. It's about the people you share it with. But rent is only the foundation. The real cost hides in the details you never see coming. Let's talk about the invisible expenses. The ones that don't make it into budget calculators or expat forums. Food. Hawker centers are legendary for a reason. $5 to $8 per meal, some of the best food on earth. But if you're cooking at home, groceries run $300 to $500 a month. And if you're dining out with friends, meeting clients, celebrating small wins, $20 to $40 per meal. Easy. Transport. The MRT is a masterpiece of efficiency. Monthly pass. $120 to $150. But taxis. Grab rides after 11 p.m. when the trains stop running. $15 to $25 per trip. Multiply that by a social life. Healthcare. Subsidized for citizens. But if you're a foreigner, you're paying premium. A simple clinic visit. $50 to $80. Dental cleaning. $150 and up. Social life. Coffee culture isn't cheap here. A latte at a trendy cafe. $7. Weekend brunch with friends. $35 per person. Multiply by the number of people you're trying to stay connected to in a city that never slows down. I came here to build wealth, Maya whispers to herself. But I'm spending just to keep up with the rhythm of the city. A 2024 study showed that 42% of young professionals in Singapore live paycheck to paycheck, despite earning well above regional averages. And then there's the pressure you can't quantify. The cost of being surrounded by success. Singapore isn't just expensive. It's comparatively expensive. Everyone around you seems to be thriving. Her colleague drives a Tesla. Vacations in Bali every quarter. Wears designer like it's casual Friday. It's not envy, Maya realizes. It's exhaustion from constantly recalibrating what enough means. There's a term here, kiasu, fear of losing out. It's woven into the fabric of the culture, subtle but relentless. The latest phone, the right gym, the Instagram-worthy lifestyle. But here's what the most grounded expats learn over time. The city rewards those who define success on their own terms, not by Marina Bay's standards. Yet despite all this, the costs, the pressure, the compromises, people keep coming. So what are they getting in return that makes it worth the price? Let's talk about what you actually pay for. Safety. You can walk alone at 3 a.m. without looking over your shoulder. Your phone stays in your pocket on public transport. The crime rate is among the lowest in the world. Efficiency. Everything works. Trains run on time. Government services are digitized. Frustration is minimized. The city runs like a machine, but one designed around human needs. Opportunity. Singapore is the regional hub for finance, tech, startups, innovation. Career acceleration happens faster here than almost anywhere in Asia. Doors open. Networks form. Momentum builds. Diversity. 120 nationalities. Every cuisine. Every language. Loneliness is optional in a city this connected. A year in, she stopped comparing costs. She started measuring in moments. The spontaneous weekend trip to Malaysia. The salary bump she'd never have gotten back home. The late-night conversations with strangers who became family. You're not just paying for survival. You're paying for a version of yourself that might not exist anywhere else. But only if you understand the game before you play it. So let's talk strategy. How do you actually afford this city without sacrificing your sanity? Housing hack. Live slightly outside the CBD, Geylang, Novena, even Jurong. Save $500 to $800 a month. You're still only 20 minutes from the city center. Food strategy. Master the hawker circuit. $15 a day is doable. Cook twice a week. Budget $400 a month total. You'll eat like royalty without the royal price tag. Transport discipline. Stick to the MRT and buses. Avoid the grab habit. Save it for late nights or when you're hauling groceries. Social intelligence. Free events are everywhere. Museum nights, park concerts, beach sunsets. Luxury isn't always expensive here. Sometimes it's just location. Income leverage. Work remotely for overseas companies paying in USD or Euro while living in SGD. Or climb fast in local firms. Singapore rewards performance. Meet James. Software developer from India. Shares a 2-bedroom condo with a colleague. His share, $1,400. Cooks 5 days a week. Explores free trails on weekends. Banks $1,500 every month, while living in one of the world's most expensive cities. The city doesn't hide its costs. It tests whether you're serious about what you came here to build. So the question isn't whether Singapore is expensive. It's whether what you gain is worth what you give. Every city demands something in return for what it offers. New York takes your time. Paris takes your patience. Singapore takes your money. But it gives you clarity. It forces you to decide what you're really chasing. 2 years in, she's still here. Not because it's easy. Because it's worth it. The real cost of living in Singapore isn't measured in rent or meals or transport. It's measured in how much you're willing to invest in the person you want to become. And that price, that's one only you can calculate. So here's my question for you. If you could live anywhere in the world, but had to sacrifice comfort for opportunity, would you take the leap? Or would you stay where you are and wonder what could have been? Drop your answer below. I want to know what scares you more, the cost of going or the cost of staying.